Lamar is out. Uh, I with his tweet and everything that came out before the game, um, you had to know he was probably done for the season. Do we think that the Ravens are going to franchise tag him?
They're going to try to work a deal out. If they don't get that deal done, that's the first thing they're going to do.
Obviously
Does that mean he
they
can't go elsewhere? Like, does
that
that
would
lock him down?
it would depend on which. So there's two tags that they can give, and it would depend on which one. You've got the restricted, which means that nobody else can offer. That's what we put on Orlando Brown Jr. this year. The restricted free agent tag. That means that nobody else can offer you a contract. You are that team's player, regardless of whether you decide to sign it or not. Now, if you don't sign it, that means you don't play for the season. You hold out. You don't get paid. But you also can't go to any other team. Then there's the unrestricted free agent or franchise tag, which means that if you sign the tag again, if you sign it, then you are with that team until they either decide to trade you and you agree upon the trade. It does come with a no trade clause. Technically, you have to agree to where you're going to go, or the team can anybody can um, offer you a contract at any point in time during the season, in which case the team who holds your franchise tag has the opportunity to match. I believe it's 24 or 48 hours. And then if they do decide to match that contract, you are automatically that team's player for the remainder of the contract. If they decide not to match it, then you automatically go to the other team.
Interesting.
So they could decide to franchise tag him. I'm not so sure they will, given the contract for the full year is guaranteed, fully guaranteed. And it's an average of the top five quarterbacks or top five players at that position for the season, which for this upcoming year, I would have to say that's got to be
Pat's like
somewhere
number
around.
five. There's four other guys above Pat. I'm pretty sure.
That's yes, and so that's got to
Russell Wilson
be
being one of them.
somewhere like 48 to 52 is what I would assume, and it's fully guaranteed. Knowing that his usage rates and him going down this year and last year for as long as he did, that can't be a smart move by the Ravens to franchise tag him.
I just think it would be the better publicity for the NFL if Lamar goes somewhere. Like that would just be entertaining, interesting to keep track of.
It'd be way better for Lamar as well. He's going to end up at a team that wants him and wants to build around him. His running usage goes down, which means that his injuries go down, if not stop.
He would be the LeBron James of football.
No, he would.
Moving teams like that,
That does not make him LeBron.
I wouldn't say
No,
like winning wise, but I'm saying as far as making
He's
the
not
players
from
want to go.
Baltimore.
That's not what I'm trying to compare it to. I'm trying to compare it to LeBron starting the movement of players going elsewhere instead of staying with their teams.
there's still far more far less player
Brett
power
Favre
in
went
the
to
NFL.
Minnesota before.
I was gonna like you still do have to honor your contracts. It's not you can't really force a move and have it work out that way. I mean, he would be a free agent. He's not he is without contract.
I wasn't going to finish that statement there because I don't know if Brett Favre went to Minnesota before LeBron went to Miami, but
He did. Are the Bengals we know the Bengals are good. And this was divisional rounds where you had teams from the same division playing each other. Is this between the Dolphins and the Bills and the Bengals and the Ravens? Are these just kind of like fluky games where they're playing against teams that know them and know how to shut them down, or is this something that maybe we should expect coming into the divisional round when these two teams meet?
Who's going, Tybo?
I'll take it because while I'm going to say stuff and I'm going to almost refute what I'm saying, but we know the NFC is a little bit significantly weaker than the AFC this year. I would have said the Jaguars were the worst team in the AFC coming in. Seeding wise, I believe that's not actually possible, but I thought that they were the worst team in the AFC coming in here. But top to bottom, the AFC had better teams in the playoffs this year, and I think that we knew the Bengals knew and the Bills knew they were going to play tough games. It's hard to play a team three times in a season, regardless. But I think it's incredibly positive for the Chiefs because they struggled more than I think we would have against the Chargers. I know the Chargers are in a injury situation right now. They got a lot of stuff going on, the terrible head coaching and all that. But the Bengals, just as close as the Bills, like they both teams almost lost those games. If two wide receivers in the Miami and Buffalo game don't drop their passes, Miami won that game. The Ravens and Bengals game, there was so much going on in that last little bit there. Like the Ravens literally were fingertips, millimeters away from tying it. And I mean, fluke fumble that the Bengals scored on. Like those were incredibly close games and not by any means definitive or reassuring to anybody out there that they're actually the best team in the AFC, better than us.
Will we get fireworks, Sean, this upcoming weekend when the Bengals and the Bills finally play that long-awaited game that we've been waiting for?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's going to be very reminiscent of the Bills versus Chiefs game last year. It'll be a very high-scoring game. It'll come down to the final play. Probably leave a little bit of time on the clock for one of the quarterbacks, and they will not be able to pull off the Mahomes miracle. Nowhere close to what we did.
You know what I'm going to expect for that game? Lots of turnovers, lots of sacks. Both quarterbacks going to go down 5 times. Josh Allen's going to have 4 interceptions. Joe Burrow's going to have 2.
How disgusting is it that the Chiefs are the only team that can't get to Joe Burrow?
When I watch the other games that they play, when I see how bad that offensive line looks on a regular basis, it makes me want to put my head through a mirror and just take the broken pieces and jam it in my face.
Quite the visual there, man.
It's the most, I think it's the most frustrating thing I have to watch in football nowadays. The Bengals have beaten us 3 times in a calendar year, and when we play them, we literally cannot get that man down.